And now, the East Westchester Corporation, maker of fashionable plastic fruits and vegetables for all of your home decorating needs, brings you the continuing saga of a poor body repair shop heiress on an endless search for love and togetherness on The Gathering Dusk. As we look in on the Fillmore household today, Martha, the lovely daughter whose beauty is considered more than skin deep, is having a discussion with John, her fiancé of 10 longing years, about which kennel would best suit her pet cat, Buttons.
Oh, John, my dearest, I'm in such a tizzy. As you know, I'm planning to go visit my aunt in Nebraska next week, and I must leave my cat Buttons in a kennel. But of course, I refuse to leave my precious pet with just any kennel.
I can understand your concern, my beautiful darling.
Oh, I knew you'd understand, my precious pet. Oh, wait. I just called you my precious pet, when only moments before I called Buttons my precious pet as well. Oh, dear. Here's another tizzy I find myself in.
Well, I'm sure you can consider both of us your precious pets.
Oh, no, that can never be. I can't have 2 precious pets. I'm certain there must be some law against that. I must decide which of you will be my precious pet, and which will be, well, I suppose my ordinary pet.
Well, I am your fiancé.
Well, that is true, but Buttons always purrs while she sits on my lap, and she licks my face while I bring her a saucer of milk. You seldom do either of those things. Not that I'd want you to, of course.
But there are things that I do for you that Buttons doesn't, my love.
Is that true, John? Are there things that you do for me that Buttons doesn't? I don't seem to be aware of what any of those things might be.
Well, for one thing, I regularly take you out to dinner. Buttons has never done that, has she?
Oh, don't be silly, John. Of course Buttons has never taken me out to dinner. But then, she's never forgotten her wallet and had to depend on me to pay the bill. So I fear the 2 of you come out even on that one.
Am I competing with Buttons for the position of being your precious pet?
Oh, what an excellent idea, my beloved John. Yes, a competition between you and Buttons, and the winner will get to be my precious pet. And whichever of you comes in second shall simply be my ordinary pet. Oh, this will be fun.
Well, I don't know.
But what categories shall the 2 of you compete in? Let me think. Oh, I know. Let me pour milk into each of these saucers here.
What are you doing, my love?
I'll lay these 2 saucers side by side on the floor. Whichever of you finishes their saucer of milk first will be the winner.
But what will
On your mark, get set, go!
But, Martha, what sort of challenge is this?
Oh, don't you see, John? My provision of a saucer of milk is a sign of my affection, and whichever of you finishes their saucer of milk first will be displaying how appreciative they are of my sign of affection. Showing appreciation for my sign of affection is one way of gaining my precious pet designation.
But I don't generally drink milk from a saucer on the floor.
You'd better hurry, John. Buttons is ahead.
But this just seems rather silly to me.
Hurry, John. You're woefully behind.
Well, very well.
It's too late, John. Buttons has won. I'm afraid she's bested you in that round.
Oh, I believe that's because I do my best drinking from a glass.
Now what shall we do? Let me see.
Well, you commented on how Buttons sits on your lap and licks your face. I'm certain I can do that better than she can.
Oh, don't be silly, John. First of all, you're far too heavy to sit on my lap. Why, I doubt if I could support your weight for more than a few minutes. I fear Buttons is a far better lap-sitter than you are, my dear. I believe she wins that competition by default.
But, Martha, this all seems rather...
Let's move on to the next event. What shall it be? Oh, I know! Watching Buttons play with a ball of yarn always amuses me. Here's 2 balls of yarn, one for you and one for Buttons. Now each of you will play with them, and the one who amuses me the most will be the winner.
But, Martha, my love, men don't generally play with balls of yarn.
Oh, look at Buttons. She's batting it around, chasing after it. And look, as it begins to unravel, she's playfully chasing the string. I'm so amused.
Oh, well, yes, that is amusing, but watch this, Martha.
There you go, John. Now you're getting into the spirit of things. Oh, this is so amusing. Watching my 2 pets compete for my amusement is so amusing.
Can Buttons do this?
Oh, do be careful, John. You're getting yourself all tangled up. And you'd better not bat it so hard. You might break a lamp or something.
Oh, my dear Martha, I'm terribly sorry.
And so am I, my dashing John. I fear Buttons has won that round as well.
But wait, I will get a broom and dustpan and clean up the broken glass. Now that is something I can do better than Buttons.
That is true, but of course, Buttons doesn't need to clean up any broken glass. Because she didn't knock over a lamp. I believe that's another point for Buttons. Oh, John, she's ahead 4-0.
Well, this is all quite embarrassing, although I believe all of the events you have chosen so far have tended to favor her. Perhaps you should pick things that will play to my strengths.
Well, that certainly wouldn't be pest control. Buttons routinely keeps mice from invading our home. As much as I know you love me, my dear John, I don't believe you've ever done any such deed for me.
Well, I know something I can do better than Buttons. Let's see which of the two of us can best open a door for you.
Oh, yes. That might be fun.
Look, I did it, and Buttons is still sitting there.
Oh, no, she's not. See, she's walking through the door that you've just opened, and now she's waiting for me to follow her.
But she didn't open the door for you.
Oh, but don't you see? She did, my charming John. She craftily used you to open the door, and not just for me, but for her as well. My, what a clever cat.
But
I'm afraid Buttons has won hands down, my beloved John. She is officially my precious pet.
But Martha, what about me?
Oh, you're still my pet, but just an ordinary one.
But I really rather enjoy being a precious pet.
Oh, I know. Oh, wait, and so you shall. Why, the way Buttons used you to open the door for her shows how much she enjoys having you around. So here's what we shall do. Buttons will be my precious pet, and you will be her precious pet.
I will be her precious pet?
Certainly. It's the only logical thing to do. And it solves everything.
But Martha, that doesn't
Oh, I'm
sound
so
like...
glad the tizzy I was in over which of you should be my precious pet has been resolved. And wait, the resolution of that tizzy provides me with a resolution to my other tizzy.
You're referring to your tizzy over which kennel to leave Buttons in when you visit your aunt next week?
Yes, I won't have to leave her at a kennel at all. As her precious pet, she can spend the week taking care of you.
Taking care of me?
Certainly. I believe she's grown quite fond of you, my darling John. And think of all the fun you two will have while I'm gone. She can have you open doors for her and play with balls of yarn for her amusement, and then she'll be able to take you on a daily walk.
Oh, but Martha, I don't...
Oh, how wonderful. I can now go visit my aunt with a clear conscience, knowing that my precious pet will be safely taking care of her precious pet.